Let's get it. 580 Sports Talk is live and direct on a Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, one and all. Thanks for being here with us. We're here for the next 2.5 hours on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, on the MSC Radio app, and on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. However, wherever, whenever you're tuning into the program today, thank you so much for being a part of 580 Sports Talk. My name is Dan Lucero. Spencer Dupuy will be along in the 4 o'clock hour today with you for 2.5 hours. We're breaking away a little early today at 5:30 for more Royals baseball. See if the boys in blue can run the win streak to double digits after a 5-3 win in the opener of a 3-game set at Toronto last night. Game 2 of the 3-game series is tonight at Rogers Center. 6:07 scheduled first pitch. Again, the Royals Radio Network will be on the air at 5:30 with pregame coverage here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9, which means we've got 2.5 hours to do what we usually do in 3. So we got a lot to get to and a shorter time than usual to get there on this Wednesday. Plenty of Chiefs to discuss. The Chiefs made a trade last night. Didn't have the decency, did you, Brett Veach, to pull the trigger on that during the show yesterday? Could have given us something to talk about. No, you had to wait. You had to wait a couple of hours to announce that the Chiefs have added some depth to their offensive line. What does it say about the Chiefs' offensive line that the Chiefs made the move that they did last night to acquire veteran Josh Izudu from the New York Giants in exchange for a 2028 7th-round pick? We'll discuss that, how it might change the composition of the 53-man roster, and a thought I had on the 53-man roster based on Mitch Holthus, who, by the way, is going to join us later on in the program today. But a couple of thoughts on how the composition of the 53-man roster may change after the trade for Josh Izudu last night. That's Ezeudu, Izudu. Oh, camera just took a dive. Hopefully that doesn't happen during the Hot Wing Challenge. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're looking at you're looking at behind the computer right now. It's just going to have to be that, I think, unless somebody comes and rescues me. My apology. I might even just put up the title card so you don't have to look at that. There you go. So we are live. You're hearing me on the YouTube channel, but there's nothing to look at right now. We'll get that fixed before we go a whole lot further on the program today. Spencer might jump in and pop that back up for us. Anyhow, if you're listening to the show, you don't care about any of that. If you're just listening, we'll keep it moving. So Chiefs on the show today. We've got Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs at 5:15 for a training camp report presented by Hy-Vee and Azura Credit Union as rookie week continues. And I could give you 10 guesses, and you wouldn't get who is the spotlighted rookie today on the training camp report. You wouldn't get there. It's an off-the-board selection, to be sure, but it is an interesting one. And like I said, it's kind of making me rethink what the 53-man roster might look like. So that's coming up. Mitch Holthus, 5:15 today. Again, a little earlier than usual. And that is coming up in the 5 o'clock hour of the program. At the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour today, Tim Fitzgerald to GoPowerCat.com will join us for the Wildcat Wrap-Up. Plenty to say about the Wildcats as we're a week away from their first game. We're back on the video, by the way, in case you were concerned, over on our YouTube channel. We'll get the video back up. We'll play with the camera in a little bit, but you can see me again, so that's nice. Thank you again to Spencer. Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com with the Wildcat Wrap-Up presented by Tallgrass Windows and Doors coming up at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. We'll talk some Royals baseball because they keep winning. They keep winning. We'll keep talking about them. I mean, does it really matter in the grand scheme of things as far as the standings go? I mean, the Royals are still 8 games out of a wild card, but they do no longer have the ignominy of a 0.0% playoff chance, according to Fangraphs. So they've got that going for them, which is nice. And it is really rare for a team with a record as bad as Kansas City's to win like the Royals have won here over their last 9 games, which begs the question. Of the teams who've done it before, did any of them amount to anything? Did it really mean anything in the long run? There are only 3 historic examples, but we'll talk about those and do a little guy remembering in the process. So we'll talk some Royals baseball. And also today on the program, it's our first ever edition of Washburn Wednesdays here on 580 Sports Talk. That's how we're going to feature the stories of Washburn Ichabod athletics on the show throughout this upcoming 2026-27 academic and athletic year. Season gets started this weekend. Volleyball in action at home tomorrow. Soccer in action at home tomorrow. And football kicks off the season on the road at Truman State on Saturday. And every Wednesday in the 3 o'clock hour here on 580 Sports Talk, I am going to sit down and catch up with coaches and players from the various Washburn athletic departments and tell their stories as the season goes on. So we're looking forward to Washburn Wednesdays here on 580 Sports Talk. We'll debut the segment. I had a chance to sit today with Zach Watkins, head football coach, and Davy Phillips, head coach of the 4th-ranked women's soccer team in the country in Division II. Both of them, again, opening their regular seasons this week. We're going to talk to them. You'll hear that at the bottom of this hour. Oh, yeah, and we're going to eat hot wings today, too. Yeah, that's happening today as well. Don't mean to bury the lead, but today is the day of the 580 Sports Talk Hot Wing Challenge presented by Hooters, where you, during happy hour, can get 50-cent wings from 4 to 6 every weekday. Happy hour, 4 to 6, 50-cent wings. There's no better deal in town. And we are going to get 6 of their hottest wings. And Spencer Dupuis and I are going to stare each other down at the top of the 5 o'clock hour in the Hot Wing Challenge. The challenge is very simple. We will each have 3 wings. It's not a huge number, but we don't have a huge amount of time. 3 wings. We're going to eat the 3 wings over 3 minutes, and then we're going to see who goes for the milk first. Who goes for the pain relief first. Who can stand the heat. So we're going to figure out the Hot Wing Challenge coming up. Top of the 5 o'clock hour. Don't be late. We're hitting the ground running at 5:06 with the Hot Wing Challenge. So don't be late. You're going to want to be watching on YouTube. Hopefully our cameras don't fall from the ceiling on YouTube while we're doing this. That's coming up 5 o'clock today on the program, and definitely you're going to want to be checking that out on YouTube. 580 Sports Talk, the Hot Wing Challenge. Andrew in the YouTube chat asked, do we have the milk on hand? We do. We have it in the fridge. Spencer brought a whole half gallon. I just got one of those. Not like cartons you get at school, but one of those like cylinder type deals. I don't even know what you call it, like a pint? Maybe a pint of milk is what I got. And Spencer's got a whole half gallon. He's loaded for bear. So we're going to see how this goes. But we're pretty excited about it. And again, grateful to our friends at Hooters here in Topeka. Home of the best happy hour deal in town. 4 to 6, 50-cent wings at Hooters every day. 580 Sports Talk's the name of the YouTube channel. Again, you'll want to be checking that out today. You should be subscribed to the YouTube channel. 1,000 of you are. That's why we're going to debase ourselves and humiliate ourselves in the way that we're going to do so today. That's a thank you. If you want us to do more ridiculous things, you got to go subscribe. 580 Sports Talk. That's the deal. You subscribe, You get us to a nice round number, and then we do stuff that is absurd. So go subscribe. Hop in the live chat. Say hello. I mentioned Andrew's in the chat. Mark H. and Vance and Christopher in as well. Good to hear from all of you. You can also text the program today. The text line, 785-272-9429. Again, 785-272-9429 is the number to text. Mark H. wishing me good luck in the Hot Wing Challenge, which I appreciate. I think we're both going to need it. It's going to be fun. We're looking forward to it. Fun to a certain definition of the word. We're really looking forward to bringing that to you here. Top of the 5 o'clock hour. Like I said, don't be late. You don't want to be late. We're 5:06. Where the Wings are going to be down the hatch about 5:07. So don't miss it. We open today with a seemingly minor transaction for the Kansas City Chiefs. They made a trade last night, acquire veteran guard Josh Ezeudu. Maybe not quite right to call him a guard because he's actually played more snaps as a pro at tackle than he has at guard. But primarily in the preseason for the Giants, Ezeudu, the former North Carolina Tar Heel, had been playing right guard after featuring on the left side of the offensive line earlier in his career. Ezeudu, entering his fourth year in the NFL, the former third-round pick, acquired in a trade last night, the Chiefs sending the equivalent of pocket lint, a future seventh-round pick, is the compensation to acquire Ezeudu. Who is Josh Ezeudu, and how does he do the voodoo that he do? Josh Ezeudu was a third-round pick, as we mentioned, showed a lot of promise as a rookie, even got some starts at left tackle as a rookie coming out of North Carolina in 2023. 2024, by all accounts, was not a good year. Took a bit of a step backward. In fairness, the Giants kind of did as an entire organization and struggled. Didn't play as well, lost a starting opportunity. And then in 2025, due to a calf injury, he did not play at all. So he is coming off, kind of like Felix Anudike-Uzomah, another 2023 draftee. He is coming off of a year that is lost to injury as he enters the final year of his rookie contract. 33 career games, 10 career starts for Ezeudu, and that's even with a lost 2025. And that's a heck of a lot more experience than anybody outside of Mike Caliendo that stood to make the Chiefs roster as a backup lineman. Going into yesterday, the Chiefs were looking at probably keeping 9 offensive linemen, maybe 10, but likely 9. I think it's more likely now that they only keep 9. I'll explain that in a second here. But the Chiefs were looking at reserves, assuming that Jalen Moore is the day one right tackle, which I feel pretty good about making that prediction now. You were looking at backups of Ichabod and Khalil Benson at tackle, though Benson has obviously worked inside some at guard. But those are going to be primarily your backup tackles. And those two combined have 5 NFL games. All of them, of course, belonging to Ichabod. Neither of those two players was drafted. Those are both UDFAs. Chiefs believe both can be diamonds in the rough. Certainly a possibility. But that's what you were looking at as your backup tackles. You're a Josh Simmons injury away or a Jalen Moore injury away from having to play one of those guys. Either a rookie UDFA or a second-year UDFA who, again, I remind you this about Ichabod. As much as he has grown as a football player, he did not play high school football. He is more raw even than second-year pro would suggest. And that was the backup tackle situation for the Chiefs. They like both of those guys, but liking them and trusting them, it's a bit of a different equation. On the inside, the Chiefs were looking, again, entering last night before the Ezeudu trade, they were looking at having Mike Caliendo and Hunter Norzad. Now, Mike Caliendo's played a bunch, 47 career games, I believe it is, and was not having a very good preseason, if we're being honest. Entering his fourth year, had not played well in the first 2 preseason games. In fact, had noticeably struggled. And Hunter Norzad probably had the edge on the field as that 9th offensive lineman, and he's played all of 123 snaps on offense in his 2 years as a pro. There's not much experience. There's not much starting experience. Norzad has started 1 game. Caliendo, I think, has started 10. Double check that real quick, but make sure I get that number exactly right. And Pro Football References. I don't know why Pro Football Reference. I go to the sports reference pages every day. Pro Football Reference is the only one that makes you do a security verification every time you log in. I don't know what the deal is with that. If anybody knows anybody at Sports Reference, tell them to quit doing that to me. Anyway, 7 career starts for Caliendo in 42 career games over 3 seasons. So he's got 7 starts. Norzad's got 1. Pole started the final 4 games of last year. It's not much experience. And again, the expectation is not that your backup offensive linemen are going to come in and play as well as the starters. There's no team in the NFL that feels like that is a reality, like that is a possibility. If you lose a starter on the offensive line, you're hurting. There are but so many starting caliber linemen in the league. If you're a backup, you're probably a backup for a reason. So this is not to say, the Chiefs have done a really poor job building a backup offensive line. Everybody's backup offensive line is a question mark. You just hope they can hold it in the road. You're not looking for your backup guard to come in and be Joe Tooney for 6 weeks in an emergency scenario with a long-term injury. You're just looking for them not to get your quarterback killed, not to totally render your offense inoperable. But the Chiefs just didn't have enough linemen in their room that they felt like they could trust in a long-term injury situation. And while we have no reason to believe that Josh Simmons' injury is a long-term situation, he's day-to-day right now, but that's what the Chiefs have said. But then again, aren't we all day-to-day? There's no reason to think that's a long-term situation, but again, you're talking about a long-term injury for either Simmons or Jalen Moore, and you got to go play Ichabod or Khalil Benson a lot. And that's a lot of exposure for guys who haven't played a lot of NFL football, or in Benson's case, haven't played it. And the interior line was looking every bit as rough. And if you do want to criticize the Chiefs for something, it's that they invested some draft capital, like not a lot, but they invested some draft capital in 2023 and 2024 on the offensive line. They took Wanye Morris in the 3rd round. He's not around anymore. They took C.J. Hansen. They took Hunter Norzad. Hansen, we have barely talked about. It doesn't seem like he's going to make the team. He's not going to play in Friday's preseason finale due to an injury. And Hunter Norzad was a draft pick that year and doesn't really look like he's a guy that the Chiefs feel like they can trust. So in acquiring Ezeudu, they go and get a veteran who's played and has started games and is going to have to work fast to earn the trust of this Chiefs coaching staff. But clearly, it's somebody that Brett Veach and the front office thought could help this team. And we've seen the Chiefs make moves like this, right? And we've also seen them make moves like this that didn't really work out. Remember when they traded a future draft pick for Neil Farrell on the defensive line a couple of years ago, and he barely got on the field? I don't even know if he's still in the league. But it was late in camp. It might have even been cut down day or right before. And the Chiefs went out and traded for Neil Farrell from, I want to say it was the Raiders. I'm double checking. It was. And then Farrell appeared in all of 3 games that year in 2023, played 7 games with Miami the next year. He's out of the league. And the Chiefs gave up a draft pick for the future to get Farrell. And then he ended up just not really being a factor for them. They waived him before the start of the next season. So the Ezeudu acquisition is not transformative by any stretch, but it is telling. It is telling about how the Chiefs feel about their young offensive linemen, that there is not a real big hurry to rush Benson or Pole or Norzad into a starting role, into that level of exposure. So they went out and got a guy who's got some more starts under his belt. He's now the most experienced in terms of career starts. He is the most experienced Chiefs backup lineman. And he can play both inside and outside, though he's probably a little bit of a better fit as a guard. As I mentioned, the Giants are working him at right guard this offseason, but in previous years, before he got hurt and missed all of 2025, he had been a left side offensive lineman, had played tackle and guard. But the Chiefs also clearly value that versatility. It's something you've noticed in how they've worked Khalil Benson at guard during camp. They value versatility on their offensive line. And now they're looking at a group of backups where Caliendo can handle center, and Norzak can handle center, and those two plus Izudu and Benson can handle guard, and now Izudu, Benson, and Pole can play tackle. And if you've got that much versatility, that shrinks the need to have 10 offensive linemen on your opening 53. So I think it's a lot more likely now that the Chiefs only end up keeping 9 offensive linemen. But the other thing I think is interesting about the 53-man roster and how the perception of it changes. Like I said, Mitch Holthus has changed my perception a little bit today because I teased it a little bit earlier. Our featured rookie on Rookie Week on our training camp report with Mitch Holthus later today is Xavier Wampa, the UDFA safety out of Iowa. And Wampa played a bunch in preseason game number 2. And going back to minicamp, he was a guy that Dave Tobe had expressly mentioned as being somebody who looked like he could contribute on special teams. Is it more valuable to the Chiefs to carry 10 defensive backs or 11 skill players? I think it's probably 10 defensive backs, especially given the uncertain injury history of a guy like L'Jarius Sneed. And if there's room for one more defensive back, because in my projections, I've only had room for 9. But if they're going to keep 10 defensive backs, because I don't think that Mitch would feature a player that was likely to get cut on one of his training camp reports. I'm reading some tea leaves here from Mitch. So if there's a spot for Wampa, I imagine that means they're keeping 10 defensive backs. And if they're keeping 10 defensive backs, they're not keeping 11 skill guys. And if they're not keeping 11 skill guys, who's the odd man out? It's got to be Nico Remigio, right? It's got to be. Because if the battle is between him and Brashard Smith for return duties, which of those players is likelier to give you something beyond return help? No question it's Brashard Smith. Nico Remigio's not trusted at wide receiver. So I am starting to rethink, and I know I just made my predictions yesterday. I'm not really standing 10 toes down on my 53-man roster projection from yesterday. But by way of previewing our training camp report with Mitch later on, I think we're hearing about a guy who's going to have a 53-man roster spot. And if he's got one, that means one of those skill guys doesn't. We're going to hear from Andy Reid after this time out here on 580 Sports Talk. We got Washburn Wednesday, our first one of the season coming up. We'll hear from Zach Watkins and Davy Phillips. Coming up at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour, Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com for the Wildcat Wrap-Up. Mitch Holthus at 5:15. The Hot Wing Challenge at 5:06. We got a jam-packed show today. Glad you're along for the ride on 580 Sports Talk. .330 on 580 Sports Talk. We're just getting revved up on this Wednesday. 580 Sports Talk, name of the YouTube channel. Text line 785-272-9429. Andy Reid spoke to the media at One Arrowhead Drive after practice today. Basically laid out how preseason game number 3, the preseason finale on Friday at home against the Seahawks, is going to look. Here's Big Red.
As far as any injuries go, the guys that won't play, most likely, are Cochran, Chamari, Ashton, C.J. Hansen, Jimmy Holiday, Oladukin still in concussion protocol. And I might as well address that while the young kid's going to go. Nuss is going to go. He'll start the game. Those two are going to split the game. It has nothing to do with just this was all in advance, so don't make anything of that. Simmons is out with he'll be out with the back, and then Smith, Tyreek Smith, and then we'll just see. The last couple days, Ken Walker, his shoe has been caused some swelling on his ankle there, so we're trying to get that down. But he's okay. He's gonna be fine. But we're trying to just get that out of there. Other than that, everybody's potentially available there. We'll just see how it goes in the next couple of days. Again, listen, we look forward to finishing up here and getting this third game under our belt so we can get some experience at some spots and at the same time tune up with some of the ones as we go forward. So, but that's where we're at right now. So that time's yours.
You guys been taking a look at Garrett these past 2 days. I guess what did you maybe learn about him?
Yeah, he's done a nice job. We threw him right in the fire there with the first group. So I thought he handled it well. He wasn't. It wasn't a big shock to him. He looked like he stepped in and took it on and had good leadership and tempo in and out of the huddle, those things. So it was positive, I think. They'll pay off for him down the road. So it's a good thing.
What's your message to your younger players, the guys at the bottom of the roster?
Yeah, keep improving, right? Just keep improving every week, every practice, every week. They're evaluated every day and every play every day. And we talk about them as a staff. And so we just want to see continual progress going forward and have that attitude, positive attitude, doing it. And sometimes you get down on yourself and then you go the other way. So we don't want that. That's not where we're at with it. How do you handle all that?
Andy, where do you feel like Josh Simmons is at right now?
Yeah, just getting his back checked out. So I mean that's the main thing. He was doing good when he was in there. He's got the back. So like any other injury, we got to make sure see if it's right or what's wrong with it.
How has Trey gotten back in the groove, getting back out there doing some things? Is he feeling good?
Yeah, I think now listen, I didn't talk to him after this practice, but he did everything, and he's looked good the last few days, and I think he feels good. Yeah.
Is there any further update on Gelati's foot, exactly what his protocol will be moving forward on that?
And so he's off that little scooter, and has a boot on, and they're just taking it from there. We'll see how it times out for him there.
You guys traded for an interior and options to notice. What did you like about it?
Yeah. Actually, Andy Heck knows him because of his sons. One played with him and one coached him. So he's a big kid that has got good feet. He's smart. He can add either a starting position or depth, and he plays either guard or tackle. So we'll just see how he does when he gets here and gets into the system. So.
Andy, circumstances are different with Patrick this offseason. You've not had a preseason where he's not played in a game. Just wondering kind of how you evaluated and weighed those options.
Well, listen, he's looked good during the practices and doing the stuff this week. He was a scout team quarterback and pretty good scout team quarterback. But he's looked good. He's looked strong, and obviously his attitude's right. So.
And you've had a couple of wide receivers like Xavier and Rashid who haven't played in the game. Would you like to see those guys?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to evaluate it here in the next couple of days, but they've worked their tail off this week and taken a lot of reps, and that's been good for them. So we'll just see as we get closer to the game here, where we're at.
Just clarifying, I understood. Chris is going to be out. He was going to split time with Garrett. Now, will Garrett play the entire game? Or what?
There's a chance, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, Justin, I told him just keep it loose there, but if not, then Garrett, I'm sure they all would love to play a full game, and now he has a chance, so potentially.
Andy, along the lines of the offensive line and bringing in some depth pieces, just how overall throughout the course of this training camp did you see the depth of the offensive line, knowing that Khalil had to step up there as well with Jalen, but behind that, what did you see about that depth of that?
Yeah, so I've seen improvement there. And we've been kind of moving guys around and fitting them in, especially at the tackle position, whether it's Benson going in a guard or back to right tackle and then over to left tackle. So those are valuable reps for him. And he'll be over there at left tackle this week and just see how he does with it. But I like the way the young guys have progressed. I think Caliendo, who's been here now, he's probably not considered a young guy anymore, but he's had a good camp, and so that's a positive too in there. Yeah.
Would you say you're just still evaluating the right tackle at this stage and making that decision down the line?
I think we feel comfortable with both guys. I mean, it's either one can go in, but they're both doing a decent job. Yeah.
That was Andy Reid speaking to the media earlier today. At one Arrowhead Drive, sounds like Garrett Nussmeier, maybe the whole game on Friday. I'd much rather see 60 minutes of Garrett Nussmeier than any more of, I know what Justin Fields is, and I know what Chris Oladokun is. Garrett Nussmeier's performed well in the first two preseason games. I think there'd be some intrigue seeing how he runs if he gets to run with the ones a little bit. Like to see how that looks. Intrigued by the thought of a homegrown backup quarterback for the Chiefs. Maybe a trade piece down the line if he performs well. We're going to take a break here. Washburn Wednesday debuts after this timeout. We're talking Ichabods with a couple of the head coaches from programs who start their seasons this week. But before we get there, a quick word for my friends at Calhoun's Jewelers here at 18th and Gage in Topeka. Listen, consumers know, customers know, Topeka knows. Calhoun's Jewelers is the best jewelry store in Topeka. The community's choice, according to the Topeka Capital Journal, once again, is the best jewelry store in town. And once you go in and see it for yourself, you'll immediately understand why. Terrific selection in their showroom. And if you can't find what it is exactly that you're looking for, you got something in mind, but gosh, just nothing here quite what I'm looking for. They've got a design studio. They'll help you create exactly what you want and what you need. With service that's second to none, Calhoun's Jewelers, the place for jewelry in the capital city. 18th and Gage in Topeka. Washburn Wednesday next on 580 Sports Talk. The athletic season for the Washburn University Ichabods begins tomorrow. Home games for volleyball and women's soccer. Volleyball's at home all weekend. And on Saturday, it's kickoff for year 2 of the Zach Watkins era for Ichabod football as the Bods take on Truman State in Kirksville, Missouri. That's a night game, Saturday night, for their Week 1 action. And to preview some of that action, we debut Washburn Wednesday here on 580 Sports Talk, where I'll be speaking to coaches and players from Washburn athletic teams all throughout this upcoming athletic and academic year. And we began with my chat from earlier today with Zach Watkins, head football coach, entering year number 2. Got his thoughts on the end of camp, the start of game week, and a look ahead to that match against Truman State on Saturday. Here's Zach Watkins.
Speaking now with the head football coach, Washburn University, Zach Watkins. The Ichabods open on the road Saturday at Truman State, which means fall camp's in the books. You've had a game week. How's the first game week going, that transition from camp mode to game week mode? How's that transition been for your guys?
Yeah, training camp is all about competition and depth charts and learning the playbook and staying healthy, obviously, is a big part of that. And as you transition to game week, all that stuff stays the same, but now it's about execution. Now it's about how do we win the game? What's our process to win the game? Who are the players, the plays, the processes that can lead us to winning the game? It's no more about learning the playbook, and now it's about learning the opponent. And that's kind of how we flip the page as a coaching staff. We flip the page as a program, going against a quality team in Truman State.
What did you learn about your team through the course of fall camp, and maybe something that surprised you in a positive way about how this team has developed and how these guys have come along in this stage?
Yeah, the type of summer they had, I was really proud of. And our strength coach, Clint Dominic, did a great job of leading those guys all summer. Our player leadership really increased this summer from where it's been in years past. And we came into training camp a bigger, stronger, faster, heavier, in-shape team than we've ever been before. So we put them through a tough training camp because you have to in training camp. You have to harden the bodies for a long season. But I was really proud of our players more than anything, of January until present day, attacking what it takes to be successful in a fall season.
Talking to Washburn head football coach Zach Watkins. Not many coaches in America have 4 quarterbacks with starting experience within a program battling for a starting job. That was the situation you found yourself in as you approached the opener on Saturday. Did anybody stick their nose out in front and really win that job, or is that still something that you're going to be deciding as it comes down to game time?
Yeah, we've had a great quarterback competition all through training camp, all through the summer, and our team thought as competition top to bottom, that's going to make us really good. So Saturday you'll see the starter roll out there, and but we will play multiple guys, and obviously with the experience we have and the athletes and the type of talent that we have at that position, you will see multiple guys play.
The offensive line obviously is a position of needed improvement from last season. How has the competition unfolded at those spots, and who are some guys who stepped up as veterans, as guys who you think can be bedrocks on that O-line?
Yeah, up front we have everybody back that played last year. A lot of experience, no seniors, and so we're able to really build that because I think you have to build a team from inside out. So our offensive and defensive lines are our main focus, and offensive line, we've just gotten bigger and heavier and stronger and obviously a year older in the scheme. And so you'll see a much improved offensive line to start this season, and hopefully that leads to success throughout the entire year.
Zach Watkins is our guest here on 580 Sports Talk, the head football coach at Washburn University. You tried to set a defensive of identity in your first year as the head coach. And now you've got a lot of guys coming into the defense from other programs, transfers in from junior colleges, from other Division II or NAIA programs. How have some of those new guys who have a lot of starting experience, playing experience, really fit in with the guys who return and have that understanding of what you want Washburn Ichabod defense to be all about?
Yeah, I've kind of mentioned this before, is our defense is experienced, just maybe not as starters or maybe not at Washburn. And so we've got a bunch of guys who will play for us a lot this fall that have played for us on special teams or spot duty on defense in years past, but they are experienced in a Washburn uniform. We also have, like you mentioned, several guys who will start or contribute a lot this fall who have never played a game for Washburn, but they've played, several seasons of college football. So I think our training camp in our summer was the purpose to galvanize all those guys coming together, and now I'm excited to have those guys turn it loose on Saturday.
Here was a attacking defense that forced a lot of turnovers last year, 26 turnovers forced over the course of your 11 games. How do you maintain that level of playmaking on the ball that gives you the chance to have those extra possessions or win that field position battle that's so vital in this league?
Yeah, Coach Cook's defense, our defensive coordinator, is aggressive. It's attacking. We try to dictate what we do against the other team's offense. And, with that comes explosive plays, sacks, TFLs, turnovers, like you mentioned. But as we were one of the better teams in the nation taking the ball away last year, that kept us in a lot of games. And so this year, that mindset's never changed. Our takeaway mindset on defense, the attacking mindset, we're going to dictate in most games, hopefully, what the offense can do.
Truman State is the opening opponent. Beat them in the opener in Topeka last year. You go to their house this season for Week 1. In what ways do you expect that they will challenge you right out of the gate here in this opener?
Yeah, they're a playoff caliber team. They made the playoffs last year. They're one of the best teams in the GLVC conference that they play in, but also that makes them one of the better teams in the nation. And they will win a lot of games this year. They'll be one of the top teams in their conference again. So we know we have our work cut out for us. As we schedule games, we want to play the best in the nation. We want to play good Division II teams. That kind of gets us prepared for the grind of the MIAA. And Truman State is very well coached, very disciplined, very intelligent, and they play hard. I mean, they do a really good job of playing hard. They are a high-effort team, and they execute very well.
Zach Watkins is the head coach of the Washburn Ichabods. Again, their opener is Saturday at Truman State. Zach, best of luck in Game 1.
Thank you very much.
That was Zach Watkins, my commentary with him earlier today at Washburn's Media Day. Also had a chance to sit down with Davy Phillips, the women's soccer coach at Washburn. The Ichabod women, number 4 in the country in the preseason Division II polls, and they open up with back-to-back games against nationally ranked opponents. Number 19, Maryville, comes to town for the opener tomorrow at Yager Stadium. Here's my chat with Davy Phillips.
Davy Phillips, the head women's soccer coach at Washburn University, joining us here on 580 Sports Talk, and a couple of exhibitions under the belt now. What'd you learn about your team over the course of those exhibition games, getting you ready for the start of this season?
I think we learned different things from different scrimmages. I thought the first one, we were able to see our depth a little bit, and some of those competitions at positions I thought were maybe a little more competitive after the first scrimmage than we initially thought going into that. And then I think the second scrimmage, you kind of got to see who was going to be more of our leaders of the team, and that kind of took over as preseason's gone on a little bit longer. The energy and the freshness of some of the freshmen, you start to see it wane just a little bit. And so some of those returners, some of those key players, I think they've done a good job identifying that. And that second scrimmage, you kind of got to see who was really going to take a little bit more responsibility of this team going forward here.
Who were those players? Who did you see maybe in a way that surprised you a little bit from a returning player or a veteran player step forward and take on some of that leadership impetus?
Yeah, Jules Wardlaw, she played in our attacking midfield role kind of as a reserve last year, and she's more into the holding midfield role this year, and she's done a really, really good job just facilitating what the team needs in that role. Rylan, as center back, has done a really good job, and then our front three, both Kate, Avery or Sammy at the target, and Leah Hinkie up front. They've all four have looked really, really good in scrimmages too. So,
who are going to be the creative forces for your team this year? You know, every sport you have the players who, okay, when they're around the ball, when they have the possession, good things are going to happen. Who do you feel about on your roster are going to be those players that are the impetus for your creativity, for your forward attacking and creating the offense you're going to want?
Yeah, I think Leah Hinkie on the ball is really dynamic and super special. She was the conference freshman of the year last year, led us in goals. So when she's on the ball, she's something else. Kate Hink is crazy fast and athletic, and she's going to push to get behind the lines where Leah can go and play in between players a little bit more. But both of those are super dangerous players. And then I think, Mac Ron and Brycelyn Betts, both from the attacking midfield, I think they're going to produce more from just like a raw engine standpoint, where those other players have, kind of a skill set that they are going to lean into. But I think those four, and then Avery McCory, she's a freshman. She's been really, really good for us. And Sam Searcy, she's a little bit different a player for us. She can receive with the goal back, receive the ball with her back to goal and kind of spin players. And so she's different. So when you look at those attacking players for us, I think they all possess something different that makes them really dangerous. And so that's what we love about, the totality of our attack.
Talking with Davy Phillips, women's soccer coach at Washburn University here on 580 Sports Talk. No easing into your regular season schedule. You play a top 20 team in Maryville to start the season. In what ways do you expect that they will challenge you?
They're really competitive. I think that's one of our calling cards, our strength, our DNA is just how hard we compete. And I think they do a really good job of equally competing as hard. They're organized. Their coach was on the women's national team for years and years and years. So she's a really high soccer IQ mind. They're organized. She recruits well. So it'll be a very similar type and caliber of player. I think we prioritize things differently as coaches, but the principles of what we're asking our players look very similar.
A lot of soccer is being comfortable with the ball. Everybody's comfortable in possession, but being comfortable out of possession, being comfortable defending and turning your defense into attack. Do you feel like your team has a comfort level in both aspects, or is that something that's going to kind of have to grow as the season goes on?
Yeah, I think as a team we're pretty comfortable. I think there's some individuals who are learning, freshmen who are stepping into some important roles that are going to have to learn on the job a little bit. But yeah, I think, our first principle in our game model is that defensive organization being hard to break down. And so I think we take a lot of pride in that. And so, yeah, I think we're really comfortable without the ball. We almost want to dictate where the game is played, both with and without the ball. Field tilt is a really important thing we look at. Where the game is being played, we want it played in our attacking half as much as we can. And so we use both possession and against the ball, what we look like against the ball when we don't have it, quite a bit in both realms to dictate where the game is played.
Davy Phillips, women's soccer coach at Washburn University. They open up tomorrow against Maryville, the 19th ranked team in the country. Coach, thanks for taking some time to spend with us here on 580 Sports Talk. Good luck in your opener.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was Davy Phillips as Washburn Wednesday, a new segment here on 580 Sports Talk concludes. Again, those season openers this weekend for Ichabod Athletics starts on Thursday. Volleyball and women's soccer both at home on Thursday. Washburn starting their home invitational with a 6 p.m. home match at Lee Arena against Oklahoma Christian. The soccer team will play at the same time against Maryville over at Yager Stadium. You heard Davy Phillips mention the head coach at Maryville played for the U.S. women's national team for a lot of years, made 106 appearances. Lori Lawson is her married name. She played under her maiden name, Lori Chalupny, and was on a gold medal team and a Women's World Cup championship team in 2015. So a pretty impressive career. And now she's coaching soccer at Maryville University, and they're the 19th ranked team in the country, taking on the number 4 Ichabods on Thursday at Yager Stadium. Friday, volleyball's got a pair of home matches at 2 p.m. in the afternoon against Arkansas Tech and at 7 against William Jewell. And they wrap up the opening weekend on Saturday at 2 p.m. with a home match against Westminster of Utah. Football on the road Saturday night at Truman State, a 6 p.m. kickoff in Week 1. You can catch a lot of that action on the Ichabod Sports Network with Brendan Dworzynski. We'll take a break here on 580 Sports Talk. Come back, wrap up this 3 o'clock hour next. .357 on 580 Sports Talk. Wrapping up this first hour of the show. Again, we're off early tonight, 5:30. We'll break away for Royals baseball. 5:06, wing challenge time. Spencer and I are going to eat hot wings, courtesy our friends at Hooters, our sponsor of the Hot Wing Challenge. Our thank you, our belated thank you, but our thank you all the same for getting us to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. So go get us to the next 1,000. God knows what we'll do. We'll try hot Thai food or something when we get to 2,000. If you've ever been to get Thai food, they ask you, how much spice do you want? I always say, mild, please. Because there's spicy and then there's Thai food spicy. I don't rock with that. I can tell you that right now. I do a hot wing. I'm going to do real hot wings here in about an hour and change. But, yeah, maybe that's what we'll do down the line. But you got to get us there. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. We appreciate everybody in the chat today. See Walt's in the chat today. Appreciate you. A lot of talk about, gosh, another celebrity passing. Tim Curry died. That's back-to-back 80-year-olds with a lot of prominence in back-to-back days. Dolly Parton yesterday, of course, and now Tim Curry. I never saw Rocky Horror Picture Show. I can't front. But I did see Home Alone 2. He was great in that. He was the best part of that. One of the best parts, certainly. So, yeah, rest in peace to Tim Curry. Appreciate the chat. Again, as always, 580 Sports Talk. Coming up at the 4 o'clock hour, the Royals are winning. Does it mean anything? And Tim Fitzgerald to GoPowerCat.com. On the next hour, 580 Sports Talk. Let's get it. Hour number 2 of 580 Sports Talk on this Wednesday afternoon. Thanks for hanging with us on this hump day. Dan Lucero, Spencer Dupuis with you on the sports voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, on the MSC radio app, and on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. Got another hour and a half to spend with you today. Again, we're off at 5:30 for Royals baseball. Royals try to take their winning streak to double digits. Winners of 9 straight after last night's 5-3 win in Toronto. Jack Caglione returns to the lineup tonight as the boys in blue try to stay hot behind Randy Dobnak. The Blue Jays will send out right-hander Spencer Miles. Back-to-back Spencers starting on the mound for the Blue Jays in this series.
That's crazy.
They got Spencer Miles and Spencer Arrighetti going in this series.
Shout out to the Spencers.
I'm trying to think who the other active Spencers are. There's Spencer
Strider?
Jones for the Yankees, Spencer Strider for the for the Braves. I don't know if Spencer Jones is up with them right now. Gosh, a lot of them. Spencer Torkelson.
Yeah.
Spencer Horwitz for the Pirates. Spencer Steer, who just got hurt recently, but he's with the
Reds. Right?
He's with the Reds. Spencer Bivens for the Giants, who's made all of 2 appearances this year. But hey, it's an active big leaguer. He's currently with the big league club. Dog, I defy you to name. If I spot you, Rafael Devers and Logan Webb, and the expensive Japanese import, Jung-Ho Lee, I defy you to name another active San Francisco Giant. I don't know who the hell those guys are right now.
Yeah, I don't either. I feel like there's one big name player.
There's not.
But there's not.
If you're thinking of him, he's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Willie Adames just went on the IL. That might be who you're thinking. I was thinking. Yeah. Anyhow. It's a good crop of Spencers, and the Royals are going to see 2 of them on the mound the next 2 days. So Randy Dobnak and Spencer Miles, the starting pitchers tonight. Again, 6:07 first pitch from Rogers Center. Pregame at 5:30 here on 580 WIBW. We'll talk a little bit about that Royals winning streak because it's fairly unprecedented for a team as down bad as the 2026 Kansas City Royals to all of a sudden start winning like this. And we'll explain just how unprecedented it is and does it mean anything? Did those other teams end up maybe salvaging their seasons or at the very least setting the table for future success? I won't spoil it for you, but we will remember some guys in the process, and that'll be fun. Also this hour, Tim Fitzgerald to GoPowerCat.com for the Wildcat Wrap-Up. Sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors. We'll get Fitz's thoughts on the final week of fall camp for the K-State Wildcats. Some good injury news for their offensive line. Tanner Morley's back at practice.
That's good.
John Pastore out for the year. That's not good. We'll get Fitz's thoughts on that. Everything else going around with K-State football camp as well. Fitz joins us at the bottom of this hour. We got What Is Wrong With You coming up as well. And, of course, at 5:06, the Hot Wing Challenge for 1,000 YouTube subscribers. That's our reward. We have been doing this for the last 3 round numbers we got to. It became a staff-wide thing. When we got to 800 subscribers, Brendan Dorzinski and I arm wrestled. when we got to 900 subscribers, we did karaoke day on 580 Sports Talk. And you know what made me mad? 'Cause I was thinking about that yesterday, Spencer. You know what would have been the best, and by best I mean worst possible tribute to Dolly Parton, who passed away yesterday? Re-racking you and Brendan singing Islands in the Stream.
Yo, yeah, that did happen.
That did happen. Unfortunately, neither of you were willing to go all the way in on being Dolly. You were kind of both in the Kenny Rogers register.
Yeah,
which
I can't get there. That's only a level certain people. God rest her soul. Dolly Parton was one of them.
Yeah, there was only one of her. No, that's for sure. But anyhow, so we did karaoke at 900, and now here we are at 1,000. Long awaited, long overdue, but it's finally here. At 5:06, Spencer Dupuis and I are going to sit across the table from each other and eat hot wings. Courtesy of our friends at Hooters. It's happy hour right now at Hooters, by the way. It's happy hour from 4 to 6, and you get 50-cent wings at happy hour at Hooters. That's every day. 50-cent happy hour wings. I'm finding a better deal than that anywhere else. And look, Hooters is famous for wings. So go check them out. Go check out their happy hour. Because not only do you get 50-cent wings during happy hour, all day long, $2.50 domestic draft beers. Tremendous special.
If we weren't doing a hot wing challenge, that would have been dinner tonight. Quite frankly, because we get off early.
That. Yeah, you get off when we get off early, which only happens when the Royals play on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So during the summer months, every time that happens, my wife and I will routinely make a point of being like, all right, well, we got to get to a happy hour. We got to go get some. We got to go get some apps. We got to go try a happy hour. So doesn't happen for us often.
No.
But throughout this week, we're off at 5:30. But you might be off at 5. You might be off at 4. You might not be doing anything today. Go to Hooters. Get 50-cent wings until 6 o'clock. And do it the next day. And do it the day after that. Because they do have great wings. They really do. Go see them. We're going to go see them. We're going to go get their hottest wings. What did they tell you the sauce was called?
911.
The 911 sauce?
Yeah.
Yowzers.
There's a multitude of sauces, but I believe that is the hottest of the hot.
Oh, man. That's what we're going to do. The hottest of the hot. And we're going to eat. This is the way this is going to work. We're going to explain it now so we have less explaining and more wing eating.
Yes.
Because we're going to fly through it before we get to Mitch Holtis with a training camp report at 5:15 this afternoon. We're going to each have 3 chicken wings. At 5:07, the first chicken wing goes down the hatch. At 5:08, the second. At 5:09, the third. And then we play the waiting game. And we see which of us can stomach the heat. Which of us can stand the heat? Which of us can hold out before reaching for some liquid refreshment to try and cool things down? You brought a half gallon of milk today.
Yeah.
I went with a pint. Went to a convenience store, bought a pint.
I was at Dillon's this morning.
So hey, yeah, you get what you can where you're at.
But I will say I did look up some things which you didn't say we couldn't do.
You did some research?
I did some research of how to beat the hot wings.
Oh, yeah?
And some of it said drink some an hour before. So do you know what I did before I came on the air today?
You drank some milk?
Yeah.
Interesting decision.
I also have some Tums being delivered.
Oh, wow.
Because I know that I'm not going to be okay afterwards. So I'm going to take that. Yeah.
So apparently it's the 3 Mile Island sauce is the hottest sauce. They have discontinued the 911 sauce at Hooters, according to the internet.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was on. You could buy it on our local Hooters.
Oh, well, maybe they discontinued it at some places that are, a little more chicken-hearted than the local Hooters. We'll have to find out. We'll ask when we get there. All right, what we get the 3 Mile Island or we get the 911? What we get, and we'll go from there. But that is the hot wing challenge. It is not how many wings can we eat in X amount of time. It is not how many of the hot wings can we eat. We each have X amount of wings. We're going to eat X amount of wings, and then we're just going to try and take it like a champ. Sweat running down our faces on camera in front of everybody. That is the hot wing challenge. Great text from the 785 because I thought about this too, and you probably don't know this reference unless you're as big a Simpsons sicko as I am. But there's an episode where Homer goes to the chili cook-off.
Yeah.
And tries the hottest pepper.
I think I've seen this online.
Yeah, and he coats his tongue with candle wax as he's going around and eating these peppers.
So the internet also
then he eats ones and goes on a psychedelic trip voiced by with a coyote voiced by Johnny Cash.
The internet also told me that right before you eat them, you're supposed to do either a spoonful of olive oil or peanut butter. None of those are happening because I looked at this up like an hour ago.
Okay. Yeah, that seems sketchy to me. I don't know how much I believe that.
The peanut butter is supposed to coat your throat.
I guess I could understand that. Yeah, we'll see. We might be literally breathing fire into the microphones, rather than figuratively with our hot takes, which we do every day. It might be a literal breathing fire into the microphones when the Hot Wing Challenge comes your way. The Hot Wing Challenge presented by Hooters. 4 to 6, happy hour, 50-cent wings every day at Hooters in Topeka, 10th and Wanamaker.
I know we're about to talk Royals.
We are.
And we're not going to have a headline segment.
We're not.
There's some breaking news.
There is.
About the NFL.
You know, things, what they say about deaths, right? They come in threes, right? Yesterday, we had Dolly Parton. This morning, we had Tim Curry. And this afternoon, we have the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl is no more. Now, the honor of being a Pro Bowler,
which is bigger than the game's ever been.
Yes.
Because if you're a Pro Bowler, it helps in contract negotiations for the player.
It does. Sometimes you got bonuses in your contract. You get X amount of money if you make the Pro Bowl. But the Pro Bowl is being eliminated. That means the Pro Bowl games, too. All that silliness they were doing with the flags and all that other nonsense that still a lot of people watched on TV. That's gone, too. The Pro Bowl is being eliminated. 88 players, 44 in each conference, will receive the Pro Bowl honor with no alternates, which will restore some of the meaning to being a Pro Bowl, a Pro Bowler. Because in recent
players,
years,
that's a lot of players in each conference.
No, 88, 44 per conference. 88 total. 88 total. So, yeah, it'll be like being an all-star in baseball or basketball. Less exclusive than basketball, I think. By the numbers, I don't know percentage-wise. But, yeah, the rosters were always 44 players. But then you had all the players who didn't play because they were going to be in the Super Bowl or they were rehabbing an injury or whatever. And then you had all the alternates. And it got to the point where, like, Snoop Huntley and Shedeur Sanders were Pro Bowlers. And it did. It got to be a little bit the honor of being a Pro Bowler was diminished over time. And now this will restore some of the meaning to being a Pro Bowler because there won't be any alternates because there won't be any reason to add an alternate Pro Bowler because there's not going to be a game. So,
you know, this is also probably a cost-cutting move.
Potentially.
Because you're not having a...
They corresponded with the players on this. This is something the players wanted.
Yeah, but I'm saying it also saves money because, one, you're not also sending all these players out to wherever the Super Bowl is.
It's true.
And two, you're not having a game in a facility.
You're not.
And you're not selling food and concessions to the game.
Those things are pocket change for the NFL. I really don't think the cost was any consideration here. This is as simple
I know,
as...
but it saves money.
It does. But, like, I'm not going to stand on my chair and applaud that Roger Goodell saved a buck.
But in the world that we're living in...
I really do believe Shedeur Sanders being a Pro Bowler was the final straw. Like, I honestly do. I think that was the point at which they said, okay, we got to restore what it means to be a Pro Bowler. And if that means we don't have a game anymore, then we don't have a game anymore. Anyway, we won't have a headline segment today, but that is a big sports headline today. Pro Bowl, no more. It will not be missed, at least not from this chair. Anyhow.
Maybe 20 years ago.
The Kansas City Royals can't stop winning. They won last night 5-3. Steven Cruz made it interesting in the ninth, gave up a 2-run single to Nathan Lucas, but Lucas tried to stretch that single into a double, and the Royals executed a perfect relay to cut down Lucas at second for the final out of the game, which that's the worst base running mistake I've seen all season, and I watch a lot of Kansas City Royals games, so you know I mean it when I say that's the worst base running I've seen all season. So the Royals winners of 9 in a row are now 59-74 on the season. And their playoff odds, which on July 30th, according to Fangraphs playoff odds, hit 0.0 for the first time. And that was before they got swept by the Rockies. Their playoff odds are now 0.1%. They are off.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
They are off the floor. They are off the floor ever so slightly, but they are off the floor. Greg Harvey of OptaStats and Sports Reference had this last night on X. Only 4 teams in the last 100 years have had winning streaks of 9 or more games despite entering the streak as many as 24 games below the 500 mark. The Royals were right at 24 under 500 when they started this winning streak. They were 50 and 74. Only 3 other teams in the last 100 years of Major League Baseball have had a winning streak in a season where they were down that horrendous. Here are the other 3 teams. You can win a bar bet with this someday. The 2003 Brewers. They were 48 and 75, and then they won 10 straight and actually ended up extending the hot streak to winning 14 out of 16. That enabled them to finish 68 and 94, which is obviously bad, but it was a 12-win improvement over the season before. All sports are local. The manager of the 2002 Brewers that only won 56 games for the first 15 games of the year, Washburn Hall of Famer Davy Phillips.
Hey.
He got fired. Jerry Royster finished out the year. But then the manager of the 2003 Brewers, a gentleman by the name of Ned Yost, who you may be familiar with as well. Now, it was a 12-win improvement for the Brewers in 2003 just to get to 68 wins. They were an old team. Like, they only had 2 players under the age of 27 get as many as 150 plate appearances that year. They were an older team, a veteran team. They just weren't very good. They weren't a good team. Their best young player was Ben Sheets, who was 24 years old at the time and would go on to have a career year in 2004. Was a good young pitcher before his arm went out. Did the Brewers build on their late winning streak and strong finish? Again, they would have gone 20 and 19 there in the final 39 games after starting 48 and 75. Did they build on that? No, not really. They were a game worse in 2004, but in 2005, Ned Yost got them right back to the 500 mark. So that's one team, the 2003 Brewers. The 1996 Pirates were 26 games under 500, 59 and 85 before they went on an 11-game winning streak in September. That got them to 72 and 85. They finished 73 and 89. That was under a Hall of Fame manager, Jim Leland. What makes that Pirates winning streak interesting is it happened as they were going young, particularly on the mound. They turned over their starting rotation. They were giving starts at the time to young guys like Jason Schmidt, John Lieber, Esteban Loaiza, all of whom would go on to pretty good careers. Esteban Loaiza won a Cy Young, also did jail time for moving drugs. Interesting guy, Esteban Loaiza. It's a fascinating Wikipedia
Sounds
page.
like it.
Yeah, it's an interesting Wikipedia. But the next season, did the Pirates build on that? Did they grow from that and make a big leap forward in 1997? No, they did not. Jim Leland was gone. So was that team's best starting pitcher, Denny Nagel, and their best position player, Jeff King. Royal great, had signed with the Royals, in fact, that offseason before 1997. So the Pirates went from 73 and 89 to 73 and 89. And that was the 1997, the fifth in a stretch of 20 consecutive losing seasons in the Steel City. The last of the teams to have the kind of win streak that the Royals have had, despite being as down bad as the Royals were when the streak began, the 1953 Cubs. They were 50 and 82 before they ripped off 10 straight wins. Ended up finishing 65, 89, and 1. That's how far back we're going here. We had a tie because the game was called on account of darkness. Guess they didn't have lights at Ebbets Field or couldn't get them turned on. Phil Cavaretta was the manager of that team. 4 games after that streak ended, by the way, with 10 games left in the regular season, the Cubs gave the first career start to a 22-year-old shortstop by the name of Ernie Banks.
Pretty good one.
Which is a fun little fact.
Yeah.
And probably the name to know from the 1953 Cubs. Hall of Famer Ralph Kiner was on that team and was an all-star. But I'm going to keep it all the way real with you guys. If you can't name another 1953 Chicago Cub, that's okay. Joe Garagiola was on that team. You probably, if you're old enough, you remember Joe Garagiola. He was a broadcaster for a lot of years. Kind of very similar to Bob Uecker in that they parlayed a winning personality and years of being a backup catcher into a long media career. Beloved Joe Garagiola. Probably a little before your time, though.
Yeah,
I don't think you remember Joe Garagiola as a TV personality, but those of you older than me definitely remember Joe Garagiola. Anyhow, did the 1953 Cubs build on that success in 1954? They just called up Ernie Banks, Mr. Cub. No, they would continue what became a 16-year streak of losing seasons. So I point all this out not just to remember some guys, but to show that even unspeakably crappy teams can find their way to 9, 10, even 11 wins in a row in a season in which they were crappy and in a stretch in which they remained crappy. So maybe that is a dousing of cold water on what this winning streak has been. But you know what else it's been? It's been fun to watch the Royals play this well. Fundamentally, they've been sound. They've played some good defense. They've pitched well. They've gotten out of jam after jam. Who was it pitched off the ropes? Pearson pitched off the ropes in the 8th last night, got some big outs in the middle of their order with, I think it was 2nd and 3rd in what was a 3-run game, 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. He got the cleanup hitter, Okamoto, to pop up and got out of that inning. That was big for Pearson. And that's really been a theme, is that the Royals are still allowing base runners at a clip that is familiar. They're just not letting them come in and score. They're getting the 3rd out. They're getting the 3rd strike right now. They're getting the hits with runners in scoring position that are eluding their opponents. They're adding to their leads late in games. That's another part of it, something that was missing all year long. I think that maybe this is overstating it, but I really believe the issues the Royals had in their bullpen throughout much of this season were so crippling, in the sense that you never felt, if you were an offensive player for the Royals, you never felt like you scored enough runs to win a baseball game. You never felt like you were handing your bullpen a big enough lead. And if you have that kind of pressure, that kind of tension on you to go perform, that makes it hard to build on leads late in games. Well, now I think, and let's, like, the Royals haven't all of a sudden, they're not all of a sudden rolling out prime HDH out there or anything. Like, Steven Cruz gave up 2 runs in the 9th last night. But with Cruz's work recently and with the work Nate Pearson has done and other guys who pitched well there in the back end, the Royals feel like they've got a little bit more confidence. And they're delivering those insurance runs late in games at a better clip. You can tell that they're playing better ball because if you're watching the games on TV, Ryan Lefevre has his energy back. Ryan Lefevre's energy level has picked up a little bit over the last 9 days. He's a little bit more enthused by what he's seeing out there. But again, is past his prologue, this winning streak in and of itself is not a sign that 2027 is going to be a whole lot different in and of itself. Can the Royals buck the trend? Well, we got a long way to go to find out. Can they keep the winning streak going tonight? I'd like to see it. They've got Cags back in the order, so they're back close to healthy, though Michael Massey will sit tonight after he banged the back of his head on the turf, falling down, making a throw in the 5th inning last night. Tyler Tolbert will get the start at second base instead. 6:07 first pitch, 5:30 pregame coverage coming up here on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. We got What Is Wrong With You coming up. Tim Fitzgerald to go powercat.com in about 10 minutes. But first, before we take this break, a quick word for my friends at Eagle Auto Wash and Detailing Salon here in Topeka. Auto Wash and Detailing Salon. They have so many services to take care of and clean and shine up your vehicle. Whatever you need, they can do it for your car, your truck, your SUV, your van, your fleet. Just go see them and see what it is that they have to offer you. And if all you're looking for is just the occasional car wash, then become an Ultimate Wash Pass Club member. You can do that for as low as $19 a month. And it's the best shine in town. It's the best price shine in town. It's the locally owned choice. Eagle Auto Wash and Detailing Salon in Topeka in Fairlawn Plaza. Soar with the Eagle once a week. What Is Wrong With You is next on 580 Sports Talk.
The show? Subscribe to our YouTube channel at 580 Sports Talk.
It is What Is Wrong With You time on 580 Sports Talk. 2 news stories competing today to try and take down our current champion for the week. Go directly to jail, which a Florida man did in the midst of a car chase. He was accused of stealing a car and led deputies right to the jail's parking lot, where he then abandoned the vehicle, jumped a fence, ran toward a pond on the property, which again belonged to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Because it's the jail, he turned right into the jail parking lot as deputies were pursuing him. Not, he just happened to drive a stolen vehicle. Like, that would be funny enough as it is. The fact that he was being chased by deputies and said, I know, I'm gonna bang a left right here. They'll never find me in this crowded parking lot. Boy, all these cars are the same color, and they all got writing on them.
They
And
also had a chopper up.
shiny lights on top.
I can't believe they had a chopper up. Do you really think you were going to get away? It's like in Grand Theft Auto. Whenever they have a chopper up, you're done.
When's the new one coming out?
November. There's a
new
trailer
GTA?
coming out tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Only on Netflix.
Didn't realize that. All right, 2 news stories today. I will go first. We're going to Pompano Beach, Florida, where a 21-year-old man is facing a child abuse charge after getting into a fight with an underage teenager at the Chuck E. Cheese. This occurred on Saturday.
Chuck E. Cheese.
The victim was working inside the establishment. No word if he was was he Charles Entertainment Chief. No word on that, but the victim was working inside the establishment when the suspect, identified as 21-year-old Vincent Evans, came inside with another woman. Evans approached the victim from behind and dragged him down before the two started fighting, after which Evans and the woman he was with fled the scene. The entire ordeal was captured on surveillance footage. Investigators said the victim is the boyfriend of Evans's ex-girlfriend, who is the mother of a child shared with Evans and is currently pregnant with a child belonging to the victim. We have baby mama drama here.
Yeah.
Deputies said they took, well, not really. Like, mom's not involved here, so it's not really her drama.
That's true.
Baby daddy drama.
Yeah.
Better way to put it. Deputies said they took Evans into custody shortly after midnight. He is facing a charge of child abuse without great bodily harm, and as of Monday evening was being held at the Broward, Maine jail on a $1,000 bond. Yeah, he's walk into the Chuck E. Cheese and start swinging. I really wish we knew whether or not he was wearing one of the costumes. I think if he ran up on Charles Entertainment Cheese and threw on him, that would be an easy weekly winner.
Oh, yeah.
Easy. Anyhow, what's your story today?
We're going to Hillsborough County, Florida. A Florida man found himself in handcuffs after he was accused of breaking into a work truck and stealing hundreds of dollars worth of tools. According to the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, Joe Butts, 56, entered the bed of a work truck parked at a business last Friday. Deputies said he stole multiple bags containing hundreds of dollars worth of tools before leaving the area. On Saturday, they located him riding a bicycle and pulling the same trailer that was captured on surveillance during the theft. He was later arrested, and he also had drugs on him. So he was riding dirty in his bike, biking dirty, and using the same thing that he committed the crime with to be found. So pretty short to the point, but the guy couldn't get away from what he was using, and now he's got a drug charge.
What a butt's head, am I right? Joe Talmadge Butts. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, just broke into a work truck, stole some tools, and having the drugs on him made things a lot worse for him when they found it. Because the security footage, that's 4K, man. They got you good.
Yeah,
they
I mean,
you,
like,
they
also
got
you have
dead
to,
rights.
like, you're also dumb because you can see a surveillance camera.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think, but maybe if you're high on meth, you get meth blind to surveillance cameras or something along those lines. All right, who wins today? I'm going to go with the guy who started a fight at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Over his baby mama. Like, at first you see the headline go, oh, a child abuse charge. That's terrible. I'm old enough to have fathered a child, so felt a little less bad about that. Yeah, rolling up, causing a scene at the Chuck E. Cheese. That'll always be a winner for me. But I can't put that ahead of go directly to jail. I cannot do it. I think that story has some legs and should advance to tomorrow. Do you agree, Spencer?
Yeah.
All right. So that will be our continuing winner. Go directly to jail here on 580 Sports Talk. We're going to take a timeout here on the program. Half an hour from now, the Hot Wing Challenge here on 580 Sports Talk. Spencer Dupuis and I throwing down on some hot wings, trying not to flinch. The Hot Wing Challenge presented by Hooters is coming up in a half an hour from now. Mitch Holtz is coming up right after that. That'll be interesting. Mitch Holtz is for a training camp report brought to us by Hy-Vee and Azure Credit Union at 5:15. But coming up after this break, it's Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com with the Wildcat Wrap-Up, sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors on 580 Sports Talk. We are joined on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline by Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com for this week's Wildcat Wrap-Up, sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors, who provide high-quality products at affordable prices. You can check out their showrooms at either Wamego or Lawrence, or visit them online at tallgrasswindows.com. Excellence without exception. That's Tallgrass Windows and Doors. Fitz, we're about to do the Hot Wing Challenge in the 5 o'clock hour here on 580 Sports Talk. What's the spiciest thing you ever ate?
Oh man, I I got to tell you, as an Irishman, I get it pretty lit up from mild.
I can imagine.
I'm a sensitive fella. Yeah, I love them, but I just get lit up. So.
Now we're gonna Spencer and I are gonna get lit up here in about half an hour with the Hot Wing Challenge coming up on 580 Sports Talk. In the meantime, in between time though, we're talking K-State. John Pastor is out for the season. Fold the program, or is Oliver Miller the next great one at left tackle? The answer I know is somewhere in between, but how much is Kansas State going to miss short and long term John Pastor at left tackle?
Quite a bit. I mean, he's legit, and he's experienced, and he knows what goes on, and he kind of is in sync with Avery. So, yeah, this is significant. It kind of takes a little bit of wind out, but injuries happen. They just don't have anyone with any experience ready to go. Well, they had someone with experience, but he's out too, and George Fitzpatrick. So you can make an argument that maybe they're the two best tackles on the team, both declared out for the season. So maybe it'll be Oliver Miller. Maybe it'll be Ryan Howard or another guy on this team. But someone has to step up and do it big time. And if it's a true freshman, that's a hell of a story.
How long has Kansas State been prepared for the possibility that Pastor was going to miss the season? Do you know if that was an injury suffered in the spring? Was that a fall camp injury? Or how long have they been preparing for this possibility?
It was a fall camp injury. He came back from injury. We don't know what that was, but it wasn't this. And Colin alluded to the fact it was just kind of a fluke lower body injury. We believe it's an ACL. Just happened in the open field. Just like, sometimes part of your body says, I'm not going to cooperate anymore, and down he went, and it was bad. I can imagine that sucked the air out of practice a little bit when your left tackle or your quarterback or your star defender goes down. But it happened, and this is going to be a sign of how this team responds to adversity, because it comes every season, and honestly, last year's team didn't do it very well.
Who now has to emerge as sort of the leader on that offensive line? Because now it's a pretty young position without a lot of guys who have a ton of experience at Kansas State or in college football at all. Who now does that group turn to for leadership purposes up front?
We got Gus Hawkins back, but everyone else is kind of new. I mean, you might have some players that have been in the program, but I guess the logical candidate is Tanner Morley at left guard. The Colorado State transfer is a veteran. He's experienced. He might be a possibility to try left tackle. He's long and athletic, but he's been dinged up too. Now, he was at practice today. He was suited up, but not taking contact, so we don't know his status. So they might be down another lineman. As that's how it works. I mean, when you get injuries, it seems to happen at one position, and the football gods picked offensive line for K-State 2026.
Tim Fitzgerald joining us here on 580 Sports Talk. This is the Wildcat Wrap-Up presented by Tallgrass Windows and Doors. Fitz, the publisher of GoPowerCat.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. There's a special right now to subscribe for a year to 24/7 Sports. You can get the entire GPC Crew's outstanding insight if you're a VIP subscriber to 24/7 Sports. Fitz, every year there's somebody who gets a lot of buzz in fall camp, and it's probably buzz that continues from the summer or going all the way back to the spring, but there's always that player or two that gets a lot of buzz, has a lot of hype coming out of fall camp. They don't always deliver on that hype, but hype is hype. So who's getting the hype coming out of fall camp as we approach the start of this K-State season? Who are the players you're hearing maybe the most positive things about in terms of their growth and their potential to be breakout stars for the Cats?
Well, I think they feel good about the running backs. I think Fields has really come back from his injury. He sat out the spring, of course, and I think the Oklahoma State transfer at running back is going to bring some real shine back there with Joe Jackson and others. But you know what? Let's be honest. Colin Klein's gone full Bill Snyder. He's hyping no one, really. He's playing it pretty even keel. He's keeping his information about the nature of injuries fairly tight, and we're not even sure if Tanner Morley was actually practicing today or just looking like he was able to practice. because that is very Snyder-esque to kind of have a little decoy out there. But, we've heard a lot of great things about a number of players. Logan Bartley on defense. Wendell Gregory is very disruptive at defensive end. So I think this team is going to have a mix of new and old, transfer portal and returnees that will be playmakers for this team on both sides of the ball.
K-State announced their captains earlier this week. Any name on that list of captains maybe stand out in terms of what that suggests about how their role on the team has grown or how their voice has grown?
Gabe Powers, man, the Ohio State transfer, played some last year. I thought he was pretty good last year in limited time. I am hearing that he fits this defense pretty well. He's a mature kid. I did think it's interesting. They had a couple transfers, portal guys that have been in the program a year or two, and all of a sudden, they're captains. And that says a lot about how this team is bonded, that Gabe Powers has ascended to that level. And I think it's an indication he's going to be one of the starters at linebacker.
How do they feel about that group with Powers, Rex Van Wy? I know Asen Newsom's had a career kind of wrecked by injuries. He's still there. He's still a factor. Does Kansas State feel like they've got quality depth there? Because I know that depth has been a concern at that position the last couple of years, and injuries and transfers have kind of hurt it in that regard.
In the spring, we heard a lot about Mekhi Mason, Louisiana Tech transfer at linebacker, and he looks the part. I mean, he's big and built and apparently very quick. So, we might be looking at Powers and Mason as two of the starters. We assume there's going to be three starters, or maybe there'll only be two. We'll find out. We still don't know exactly what their base defense is. We think it's probably a 4-2-5. But if it's a 4-2-5, I think Powers and Mason might be the starting linebackers.
Tim Fitzgerald joining us here on 580 Sports Talk. This is the Wildcat Wrap-Up on the program, presented by Tallgrass Windows and Doors. We do it every Wednesday at this time. You mentioned Logan Bartley a little bit ago. He was a freshman who came in last year and was a guy that was instantly identified as a true freshman who had a chance to see the field. And he played quite a bit. I want to say he appeared in every game. I don't have the stat in front of me, but we saw a decent amount of Logan Bartley as a true freshman. Now he's out there as a sophomore, second-year player, if that's how we want to phrase these things now. How much in the mix is he with a safety room that appears to be very competitive for playing time?
I think he's holding himself up pretty well from everything I'm hearing. And, he, like Oliver Miller this year, he came in ready to go. He looked the part, he acted the part, and he delivered on the part. And I look at him and just think of the 5-for-5 rule. It didn't burn an extra year of eligibility. He didn't become a sophomore with only 3 years left. He's a sophomore with 4 years left now if he sticks around that long. So I think he is a good investment that'll keep growing if you get him on the field.
Fitz, you have written and done some daily deliveries about the changes in college sports, the change to the 5-for-5 eligibility, and all of the chaos that has created, the inevitable consequence of what I still think long-term is a good change, the standardized 5-for-5 eligibility rule across college athletics. I think it's a good change, but there were always going to be unintended consequences, and right now what we have are players leaving NFL camps to go play college football. And the Big Ten and the SEC have already stood up and say, no, we're not going to have that. Those players are not going to be eligible to play in our conference. Do you think the Big 12 is interested in following those footsteps and making a similar rule about not allowing for the participation of players in football or even in basketball, which the SEC took that step that the Big Ten did not, and saying if you have signed a pro contract, you can't come and play college sports, not in this conference?
Well, first of all, I feel sorry for Lane Kiffin. That was his whole recruiting strategy.
It was also Will Wade's it was just LSU's recruiting strategy, apparently.
Yes, exactly. LSU. It's a great question because does this give the Big 12 a possible, opportunity to get some players that help them compete at a higher level? But I still feel like it shouldn't be done. I'm really opposed to this. I hope the conference and I hope the Big 12 and ACC get together and make a joint decision. because it needs to be on a level playing field with each other. We'll find out what happens, but I sense that everyone's going to say no. If you're pro, you're gone. That's the line where you can't come back. And they need to, Dan. They really need to. There is no way you can go sign a professional contract in the same sport, get paid, and then come back and play college sports. It makes no sense to me.
At what point, though, does the argument from, let's use Daquan Wright, the most high-profile example we have right now, the former Cleveland Brown turned LSU Tiger. God, that's so funny. Let's use him as the example here. Could he not then turn around and say, well, what about all of the basketball players from Europe who have played professionally in Europe? What's the difference between that and what Daquan Wright has done? Do you think that's a credible argument?
And in some ways it is, but you got to remember, too, Europe is a lot of club ball, and for younger players, it's almost like going to an academy, and getting your stipend and getting paid, and we hear it all the time about young Europeans that just go to the sports academy and do their school, and we see that in the United States too. The exact same model over here. It's just probably it's not viewed as paid. They just get everything paid for while they're there. So it's a legit argument, but I think because it happens in the United States, because it's the league of the United States, it just can't happen, period.
Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com, joining us for a bit longer here on the Wildcat Wrap-Up on 580 Sports Talk, sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors. Do you think that as we move forward, that the Big 12 is back in a position after a tumultuous summer, in a position where membership could be united on that particular position of not having former pros come back and play college, even if it's just a narrowly applied ruling for this 1 year?
I'm not trying to be funny here, but I'm being serious. Being united probably depends on there not being a really good quarterback available for Texas Tech.
Well, they did get Tommy Castellanos today, but he wasn't even good enough to get an NFL camp invite.
Yeah. So, look, I think so. I hope so. It should be. But we saw Texas Tech exhibit that what we've always thought were the rules and the way the game should be played is kind of subject to alteration based on your needs. LSU's shown it, Tech's shown it, others have shown it, and it's gotten way out of hand. And I'm glad that conferences are beginning to stand up and say, "Nah, this is too far."
Tim Fitzgerald joins us on Wednesdays for the Wildcat Wrap-Up. He is the publisher at GoPowerCat.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. The Wildcat Wrap-Up is sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors, who provide high-quality products at affordable prices. You can check out their showrooms in either Wamego or Lawrence, or visit them online at tallgrasswindows.com. Excellence without exception. That's Tallgrass Windows and Doors. Fitz, next week's a game week. We made it.
We're not there yet. Will you calm down? I got to get to the weekend, and oh my gosh,
we got football this week. We got football tonight. We got Division II football tonight, or FBS football tonight, or FCS. Gosh, I'm so confused. I'm messing up my definitions. I'm just excited to have football back, Fitz. I'm just excited.
We've got FBS football tonight.
FCS football tonight. Tomorrow night.
Is it?
Tomorrow night. It's a bunch of teams. Yeah, a bunch of teams tomorrow night. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll have to watch football. Yeah. Oh, darn.
Shoot. Thanks for the time, Fitz, as always.
Thank you, brother.
You're the best. Tim Fitzgerald joining us for the Wildcat Wrap-Up. We'll take a timeout, come back, wrap up this 4 o'clock hour of 580 Sports Talk. I need the hype music for the Wing Challenge. 456 on 580 Sports Talk. Dan Lucero with you. Spencer Dupuis en route, returning from Hooters, 10th and Wanamaker here in Topeka, where it's happy hour right now and every day from 4 to 6. Get your 50-cent wings. You just heard all about it. 50-cent wings at happy hour from 4 to 6 at Hooters, 10th and Wanamaker here in Topeka. They have supplied the hot wings with the hottest sauce that their cooks could put together for us. And coming up at 5:06, right at the top of the hour, Spencer Dupuis and I will embark on the Hot Wing Challenge. It's very simple. We eat a wing. We eat another wing. We eat another wing. And then we try and make it through the end of the show without reaching for the milk or any other form of relief for the hot wings. It's the Hot Wing Challenge. It's coming your way. If you can join us on the YouTube, you'll enjoy seeing us do this. The YouTube channel is 580 Sports Talk. That is coming up. Spencer is in the YouTube chat. He has confirmed that the wings have been acquired, and the Eagle will land shortly with the wings. And we're going to eat them, and we're going to have a fun time doing it here on 580 Sports Talk. We'll also be joined by Mitch Holtis. We've got a great final half hour of the show today. We're going to break away at 5:30 for Royals baseball. At 5:15, 5:15, my tongue's already tied without the hot sauce. At 5:15, we're going to call Mitch Holtis for a training camp report brought to us by Hy-Vee and Azura Credit Union. Mitch will join us as Rookie Week continues. And today's rookie in the spotlight is an undrafted free agent, and not the one you probably thought of when I said that. Xavier Wampa, the safety out of Iowa, will be featured on Rookie Week today on 580 Sports Talk. Coming up next, the Hot Wing Challenge after this news break. You're listening to 580 Sports Talk on WIBW.
Dan Lucero and Spencer Dupuis talking sports in Topeka. This is 580 Sports Talk.
Let's get it. Final half hour of 580 Sports Talk. And the hour of reckoning is upon us on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, on the MSC radio app, and on YouTube, 580 Sports Talk. And YouTube is the place to be right now. You are looking live at the studio where Spencer Dupuis is going to join me as soon as we get through to the Spencer having an issue.
Yeah, there's no just straight camera for you here, so.
There's no camera?
No, there's no option, so I gotta.
It should be. It should be the same camera.
We're just gonna use the normal one.
Yeah, just use the normal one. Yeah. So yeah, we're good. Should be. Don't see why we wouldn't be. Anyhow, we've got wings to eat, is what we've got. We've got wings to eat. MSC Radio Group owner Wade Gerstner is here to make sure that liability and everything is taken care of, so that we don't have there's no issues in case there's a fire he's got to put out. We have the wings, 911 sauce from Hooters. They've been marked. There are 6 of them. They are breaded.
So this is the hottest sauce they have. They don't serve it in every location. It is like a seasonal at some locations.
Interesting. All right.
So Hooters of Topeka has it.
So here's the wing. You grab a wing?
Yeah.
All right. First wing down the hatch. We're a minute behind. That's okay. We've got milk. We do have milk, both of us. But the goal is to not need it. So, cheers, partner.
Cheers.
Let's do it.
Is his cap already broken, ready to go?
Our thanks again to Hooters.
Shout out to Hooters.
Happy hour, 4 to 6. Every day, 50-cent wings. Ask for the 911 sauce. So that's one.
So is ranch not allowed?
No, we're not dipping these. You kidding me? Did a decent number on the wing. No chaser with the beer. No. But that's one wing. 15 seconds to the second wing. We got mostly drums. Kind of feels like you're home field advantage. You're more of a drum guy than I am. All right, here we go. Try not to chew into the microphone. That's horrible. All right.
Oh.
Wing number 2. Down the hatch. Let's go. Now, I'm not going to lie to anybody listening to the program. These are hot.
Yeah.
Spencer's cracked open his milk and ready just in case.
Yeah, milk. He got the lid off his milk.
He's ready to go, man, just in case.
Oh, tasty.
They are good.
Yeah, like this is good flavor. This isn't just hot for the sake of being hot. You're good.
Yeah.
Like I said, Chris Rock lied to the people when he said nobody goes to Hooters for wings. Everybody goes to Hooters for wings.
Spencer, yeah.
How you doing, big dog? You got 15 seconds to the next wing.
You're good. You can do it.
I think we can do this.
One more.
We can definitely. I can make it to Mitch. I can make it to. Can I make it through Mitch? I don't know, but I can make it to Mitch.
I think that qualifies, right?
Yeah.
That qualifies?
Yeah. You're good. One more, buddy. Let's do it. One more.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Number 3.
These are good, man. Just solid wing, meaty, bready wing. That's 3. Oh man, yeah, I definitely need.
You need some stuff for you.
I need some. Yeah, need the wet naps for the fingers. Or do we have to take it like a G and lick the sauce off the fingers?
I can't do that now. I've already put it on my hand.
Listen, man, I can do it.
I would, but I don't want
Watch
to get
me.
all alcohol from the.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. Ah.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm sweating a little bit. I feel a little
My
bit.
lips. I can feel my lips.
I feel a little bit of sweat coming on. Hooters also generous enough to offer us some milder wings for
Not
later.
very mild though. If we were doing the three hottest, I believe these would be the three hottest.
The Daytona Beach, and what's the other one? The Thai, is it?
Honey Thai.
Honey Thai chili pepper. Okay, yeah, those aren't. Yeah, that's not on the mild side.
That's not mild barbecue or any of that.
They're under the impression that we just do spicy for fun. Nah, man, we're doing this. Whew. All right, yeah. It's heating up pretty good now. It's a bit of a delayed reaction. Great wings. First and foremost, ready, meaty.
Is water allowed?
If you're gonna drink water, go for it. They say milk, but
I'm just like feel like I'm gonna cough. Not that I need something. I just need something to drink. Not like I need something to cool. I just need.
You need a beverage. Well,
There's a milk right there.
go for it. By all means, go for it. Do it.
For your convenience. With
Ah.
the lid crack.
Whew. I can feel like beads of sweat
Oh, I can see it.
forming on my forehead right now. Again, these wings, courtesy of our friends at Hooters. We appreciate them so much. Starlet and the crew out there at Hooters hooked us up, not just with the 911 wings, but also
Jake
Daytona
Spalding
Beach.
chimes into my phone. Don't you drink the milk? I think they were putting side bets on this.
I think they were.
Yeah.
They were. There's a lot of action, a lot of side action in the MSC office. I need another one of those wet naps. Nose is starting to run a little bit too.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I'm getting a little teary.
You know, it'd be a great food. Just take the milk and run out and just see what happens.
You know what? My goal, honest to goodness, right now is make it to the end of the show. I think I can make it to the end of the show. And you know me, like if you watch the show, you know that I like take big drinks when I'm talking to guests. Like that's when I hydrate. So it'd be very hard for me out of habit. I gotta get rid of my water so I don't like drink it out of habit. But that is the hot wing challenge. We ate 3 wings in 3 minutes. The hottest sauce, the 911 sauce, banned in other states.
Let's just say that.
Yes, so hot that other states and other Hooters locations have banned its use. But the folks at the Topeka Hooters offered it up for us, and we took it to the face. We took it like G's. Look at us. And we're going to see if we can continue to do it.
It's actually like I had a little urge a few minutes ago. I will not lie.
No.
But now it's just like, okay.
Right, you got to fight through it, right? That initial.
It's like going from the second to the third. I was really like, tapping out.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, I got through it.
No,
and
you
now,
got you got to withstand that initial blow.
Yeah.
My eyes are sweating.
Yeah.
Like I can feel. Yeah, man. So it might be a draw. We'll see. We'll see if we can make it through Mitch.
If we make it through Mitch and we have like a minute or two left, do you want to try one of the Daytonas?
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, we can do a tiebreaker. Yeah, sure. Or we can just call it a draw. Sometimes everybody wins.
It's not soccer. You got to have a winner.
Come on.
A lot of people have got some
All right.
stuff on this.
Wait,
man. Come on.
I guess you are a decision maker around here. But we're going to take a time out here on 580 Sports Talk. We'll come back. We'll talk to Mitch Holthus, voice of the Chiefs, for a training camp report brought to us by Assure Credit Union and Hy-Vee. And I will do it with an extremely sweaty forehead and eyebrow region. Coming up on 580 Sports Talk.
How about a 69-yard field goal try with 3 seconds to go? The kick is up, and the kick is going to be a lot of distance. He got it! A 69-yard field goal by Harrison Butker!
The Chiefs wrap up the preseason this Friday night against the Seattle Seahawks at Arrowhead Stadium. Pregame starts at 6 right here on your home for Kansas City Chiefs football.
Catch this week's Chiefs game on the Big 94.5 Country.
Why pay more for a clean car? At Eagle Auto Wash, get the shine you want for less than the competition. In some cases, half the price. And with Eagle's Express Wash, you stay in your car and fly through fast for under $10. No hassle, no waiting around, just a sparkling clean ride from a locally owned Topeka business that knows value matters. Soar with the Eagle.
Soar with the Eagle. Eagle Auto Wash and the cleaning salon. Soar with the Eagle once a week.
At Assura, their members experience above and beyond banking with low or no cost origination, lower loan rates, flexible, affordable loan terms, and access to a local professional team. Their home loans team is ready to be your home team. Contact them today about a first or new home loan, refinancing a current loan, land and construction loans, or about the benefits of a home equity loan. Let's get started. Visit AssuraCU.com. Equal housing opportunity, terms and conditions apply, subject to credit approval. NMLS number 405418.
580 Sports Talk. On the radio at 580 WIBW. Streaming video on 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. And streaming audio live on the MSC radio app.
Sports Talk continues. We're here with you until 5:30 today here on 580 Sports Talk. And we are joined right now by the great Mitch Holthus, the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, for another training camp report on 580 Sports Talk, brought to us by Hy-Vee, the world's best tailgating. Begins at Hy-Vee, proud official sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs. And by Assura Credit Union. Visit with the Assura Credit Union home loans team. Before we get to the continuation of Rookie Week on this training camp report, Mitch, we just undertook a hot wing challenge here on 580 Sports Talk. So we've been asking our guests today, and I want to ask you, what is the hottest, the spiciest food item you have ever tried?
Well, pretty close is the shrimp cocktail at St. Elmo's in Indianapolis. Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah, super legendary. And if you're going to do it right, you'll find an archive video of Matt McMullen and me. But then we had two members of our social team, a gal named Kelsey Tehan, who's really super talented from Wisconsin. And one of our other gals said, and she was serious as can be, who, by the way, actually went to grade school with, she's in Downingtown, Pennsylvania, so she's friends with Will Howard.
Sure.
Anyway, she loads up one of the shrimp cocktail, and said, go for it. It'll be over in a little while. And she was super serious. Like, it's all going to be over in a little while. But I just got to tell you, man, it's a big moment being on the air with you, because I have one of the greatest soccer players in Seaman history sitting literally 2 feet from me.
Is that right?
Yes. And if he wouldn't have got hurt his senior year, he got hurt even before the first match or game, whatever you call it. I think they were playing the Netherlands. They had orange shirts, either them or Abilene. Anyway, they would have won state. It's Uncle Rico, man. It's Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite. If I wouldn't have got hurt, they give me the corner, we would have beaten St. Thomas Aquinas.
Love it.
In the finals.
Love
I'll tell
it.
you, Lucas Boyd, number 4, is retired. If you go out to the Seaman field now, you guys got a game at Seaman soon?
Oh, yeah, we'll be out there. We'll be out there this fall.
Look for the retired number 4 on the fence. It's facing the other way. It's facing toward the trees
to
the east when nobody parks or sees it.
Right.
But and he put it up himself. So, I'm just saying, it's kind of a big deal.
It's in 12-point font, but it's there, and that's what matters. Mitch Holthus is our guest. Let's get into Rookie
and
Week.
His father-in-law, Bob Henry's listening right now, so he's a proud father-in-law.
Rookie Week continues on our training camp reports, Mitch. And I said earlier, I could have given our listeners 5 guesses, and I'm not sure they would have landed on our featured player today. But I remember watching him and being impressed with him as a safety playing in the Big Ten for Kirk Ferentz's Iowa Hawkeyes. And as a UDFA, Xavier Wampa's made a big impression on Dave Tobe, on Steve Spagnuolo, on everybody evaluating. And he feels like he might be another UDFA diamond in the rough for this Chiefs team this year.
Dan, 257 players were drafted. I'm on with you guys. During that time, I spend 2 months digging into guys, watching video, so you're at least up to speed on who's who. And guys still they fall through the cracks. And somehow Xavier Wampa goes through and does not get drafted. Now, there's a couple things to consider here with him in part of the story. he was at Iowa for 4 years, did not transfer in or out. And he grew into the player that he was, one of the Big Ten's top defensive backs you alluded to. But not drafted, not the fastest guy on the planet, but not the slowest. Fast enough. But he was NFL ready-made because he fought his way to be a good player for Iowa. So coming into camp, I asked him, I said, what was your strategy coming in? But the Iowa experience, being there 4 years, not being 4 schools in 4 years, actually paid off for him being on the cusp to make our team.
What a climb now. It's been a good camp. What was your strategy going into camp of thinking, how am I going to make this team?
Really, I'm just grinding every day. Go out there when the opportunity presents itself, just try and implode myself, learn from the people above me, the coaches, the players, and just take every opportunity and try and capitalize it. That's all you could ask for out here.
What's been the biggest challenge for you so far?
I mean, some of the terminology is hard, especially coming from college. I was there for 4 years, so you kind of know the terminology in and out, so just adjusting to that and the speed. Obviously, you got guys like Xavier Ware that are super fast, so just adjusting the tempo of the game a little bit, but I feel like it's calmed down a little bit, so I'm excited to go out there.
You've made play after play after play, though, in camp. It's shown up. Is that instinct, or is that you learning how to play in this league?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. You come in with the instincts you have from college, but then once you get acclimated to what's going on, you see some route combinations before, you just go out there and keep making plays.
Here's also how Iowa helped him for the NFL. He played 448 special team snaps for the Iowa Hawkeyes. So when he comes into the NFL, he is ready and willing and able to be a 4-core special teams player. And right now he is that. If we have to cut tonight, he's the 4th safety out of 4 and would be a guy that can help you win the first game against Denver. But a real story here of a guy who just understands how to grind and fight and get his way on the field.
Mitch Holtz is the voice of the Kansas City Chiefs, joining us for this training camp report on 580 Sports Talk, brought to us by Hy-Vee and Azura Credit Union. Obviously, it's going to be really competitive for those final roster spots, and especially in that defensive backfield. We talked about it earlier in the month, Mitch, that there are guys who are going to get cut by the Chiefs that are immediately picked up and added to 53-man rosters on other teams at defensive back. These are good football players. It was going to be really hard for Reed, Spags, Dave Merritt, Dave Tobe to make these decisions. What is going to set the guys apart who make the team? And is that even going down to the wire all the way down to Friday's preseason finale?
Yeah, but I'll probably say it Friday again. But what you see as the initial 53-man roster could change in 24 hours. So don't necessarily just etch it into stone somewhere and make it yard art, because it could change really quickly. Now, your DB question, and Wampa's right in the middle of there, is that you also have hybrid guys here. You have the Christian Roland Wallace's, Jaden Kennedy, another part of this rookie class, that are the in-between guys. Even a guy like Kevin Knowles, who can be safety, slot corner, but a really, really good special teams player. And part of the discussion and the answer to you is that who will be, first of all, you've got to understand Spags' defense as much as you can. Now, he's a little frustrated because this group's young, but they're going to make aggressive young mistakes, and that means including popping the ball out or intercepting a pass. We've already seen that, or defend the quick slant, or defend the bubble screen. Look what Mansour Delane did the other night. He just blows through the blocker and allows Christian Roland Wallace to make the tackle. But if he doesn't attack the first guy, that play doesn't happen. So I'm okay with it, because the Chiefs really the last couple of years have not been very aggressive in the secondary. So to answer your question, who's got enough of the scheme down that you can be functional in week 1? 2, who's going to live up to the aggression? 3, even if you're a starter, Noel Williams, you might be on special teams. The real key to the special teams issue will be the linebackers and the safeties.
Mitch, it seems from an anecdotal perspective, and I could be wrong here, but it certainly feels like this preseason we have seen the Chiefs, and going back, include training camp, include even mandatory minicamp to this, that we've heard a lot about undrafted free agents, that the Chiefs have given a lot of opportunity to guys who were not drafted, and not even just in this year's rookie class, but we've talked about Cooper McDonald, we've talked about Esapole, we've talked about Andrew Armstrong, guys who didn't get drafted but are trying to grind their way to NFL careers. And I got to imagine that speaks to the scouting department of the Chiefs, that they're able to find guys in that UDFA pool who come in and are able to make a quick impression and get the sort of opportunities that they've gotten in these preseason games, rather than the Chiefs opting instead to try and patch holes with more veteran or more NFL experienced players.
NFL fans are so itchy for anything during the draft that they inhale it. But they inhale about 92% of first round, maybe second round. Then they just completely ignore basically 200 guys. And then there is a real indifference toward the next, 100. The Chiefs have done their due diligence in this regard very well, especially since Andy Reid has been here. Even John Dorsey did a good job with it. So has Brett Veach. But if you go into their draft room and you see who they have in the first-round grades, second-round grades, but then you look at, there's just all four walls are covered with these magnets of human beings that they're looking at, and guys like Xavier Wampa or a Khalil Benson, undrafted free agent. And I think we forget when we just, what's going on in the draft and with the first round, that guys like in our history, Priest Holmes, Brian Waters, Deron Cherry were not drafted. They're in the Ring of Honor. Emmett Thomas was not drafted, and he's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And you're going, well, it's the NIL world, man. You lose. Where's the diamonds in the rough? Look at all of these teams. They're finding guys that are undrafted free agents, and we might have struck gold with Wampa. So there is still a place for a guy that can slip through the cracks and become a star later in their career. That's not a thing of the past.
Mitch Holthus' training camp reports on 580 Sports Talk are brought to us by Hy-Vee. The world's best tailgating begins at Hy-Vee, proud official sponsor of the Kansas City Chiefs. And by Azura Credit Union, where you can visit with the Azura Credit Union Home Loans team. Mitch, Rookie Week continues tomorrow. Who will we hear from?
Do you like toughness?
I love toughness.
Do you like emotional and mental maturity?
Those things win championships, Mitch.
Do you like young players that are willing to listen and learn to coaches and older players?
Absolutely.
I'm going to add to the list tomorrow.
Now look,
and he might be number one, but everybody I've shown you, everybody that you've heard from these three nights, all fit that bill. But there's someone even ahead of them that we'll talk with tomorrow night.
Outstanding. Mitch, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
You got it.
That is Mitch Holthus for a training camp report. Spencer Dupuis, how we doing?
We're struggling a little bit. How about we go overtime on the YouTube stream and try the Daytona?
I think we can do that. We'll let the stream roll a little bit, and we'll try the Daytona Beach. Again, our thanks to Hooters for sponsoring and contributing the wings for our Hot Wing Challenge today. They've got the best happy hour wing deal in town. 50-cent wings every day from 4 to 6 p.m. A happy hour at Hooters, 10th and Wanamaker here in Topeka. Maybe it's been a while since you've gone and visited them or thought about them. Go see them. 10th and Wanamaker. They'll be happy to serve you. And ask for the 911 if you dare. I got like a lot of like spit.
Yeah.
Like that's the hard thing right now is my salivary glands are
you were
working
struggling
overtime.
there for like on the third question. You were.
I guess I got the sweaty eyes going right now. Some thoughts from the text line from the 620. A texter said, you guys are making me thirsty and I'm just listening. From the 316, should have done it on Friday given how red Dan's face turned. That would have been a true Red Friday. Wow.
Did you know it's Red Thursday now?
Yeah, it'll be Red Thursday tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow will be Red Thursday on the program. Then we'll do Red Friday because there will be a game on Friday. But we got Royals baseball coming up. If you're on the YouTube channel, stay in line. Spencer and I are going to eat a couple more wings and hang out with you on the YouTube stream. But we got Royals baseball coming up next year on 580 WIBW and FM 104.9. For Spencer Dupuis, I'm Dan Lucero, and this was 580 Sports Talk. Good night.
Kansas Heritage, now backed by local commitment. The voice of Kansas, WIBW, Topeka, an MSC Radio Group station.
The following is a presentation of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Network.
So hopefully you can hear us on the YouTube stream. If you can confirm one way or another that you can hear me right now, we're gonna do a little overtime. We've got more wings. Both the Hooters so generous. We've got Daytona Beach wings, and we've got honey pie chili pepper wings. I'm gonna try one of each. I should probably wait for Spencer. That would be gentlemanly of me to wait for him. Oh, you went. Bet.
Becomes reality. Swung on wide left field base hit. Throw to the plate. Shaved with a headlong dive. And the Royals win the ball game. And it's a party behind the second base bag. Unbelievable.
Kansas City Royals baseball is on the air. This is the Royals Baseball Network, home of your two-time World Series champions.
Two-homer night for Bobby Witt Jr.
Welcome to the Bob Allen Ford pregame show. For 40 years, Bob Allen has been showing Kansas City that all Fords are created equal. It's your dealer that makes a difference. Experience the difference at BobAllenFord.com.
Tonight, the Royals hope to extend their win streak to 10 games, which would be the
Let me turn on my microphone and we'll be good. That should help. Okay. A Daytona Beach wing, sir?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get a Daytona Beach wing.
Let's go here.
Give me a flat. Too many drums. That was my only complaint. I'm a flat guy. Let me turn on my microphone and we'll be good. That should help.
Okay, these aren't that hot.
Well,
these are like a spicy barbecue.
Yeah, they're spicy compared to the 911. They're not.
Yeah.
911 was definitely hotter.
I mean, I feel like if we had these just clean, nothing else, they might be a little more hot.
Mm-hmm. Man, the key really was just ride out, like the spice threw a big punch, but you just got to ride it out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try one of the Thai wings here, one of these Thai joints.
Number 4 or 5? 5? Nice.
These are nice. These are really good. Again, we want to thank Hooters. We can't thank them enough for being cool and donating the wings today, contributing the wings. You should go see them from 4 to 6 for their happy hour, 50-cent wings. I don't know if they have a limit. Go find out. Go push it to the limit on 50-cent wings happy hour, 4 to 6 every day at Hooters. Those got a little late kick to them. Whoa. The Thai. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, they got a late kick to them that I like. All right, those are good. We'll split these, I guess, and just split the spoils here.
Yeah,
take them home.
Yeah,
tell my wife that you got to figure out dinner on your own, babe. I'm having wings. Thank you for hanging out with us a little longer on the 580 Sports Talk YouTube stream. This has been a lot of fun today. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for subscribing. Chances are, if you're watching this, you're one of our 1,000 subscribers, one of our first 1,000, and cannot thank you guys enough for riding with us, for letting us do what we do, for engaging with what we do, and for being the impetus for something like this. This was a lot of fun today. So you guys have a great rest of your evening, and once these cameras turn off, I might allow myself a swig of milk, just a little swig, maybe. I don't know. I may try to keep riding it out. But thanks for watching today, everybody.